Hey, I'm Coral. This is Coral Gardens. I'm going to take you on a quick garden tour today. Very early spring. It gets super warm here real fast, but we did just have our last frost date in the middle of May. Today's the 21st, and we have a lot of things growing. We're about to plant a lot of things on. This week I'll be getting my peppers and tomatoes from my friend that has a greenhouse and does starts. And then I've started quite a few things up in these little solo cups. We have our melons, our marijuana. We got some cucumbers and watermelon from the tribal community garden. But I thought it's a beautiful day. Give you guys a quick tour of what we're planning and what we have planted. There's a few cute things going on, and I'm excited to show you around. So first thing's our little herb garden. And we have lots of cilantro, lots of dill in the middle here, and a lot of basil, purple and green. And I'm not sure what that little guy is. I planted some other herbs. We'll see if anything else comes up. As long as I have cilantro, I'm a pretty happy camper. I'll turn around here. These onions that we pulled and ended up wasting out here are trying to face the sun, and there's a butterfly. A little swallowtail just went by. We'll see if they come back by. Been a lot more butterflies this year. There are hawks or buzzards up there. I don't know if you could see them. So here's a couple cucumbers, nondescript, unmarked cucumbers that we got from the tribal garden. They had some extras, and then a nondescript watermelon. These just say water, and these just say cuke. Just cute. These are flowers that I planted on my birthday, so 3 or 4 days ago. I'm pretty sure those are marigolds and zinnias, and something's been munching those zinnias, it looks like. Pretty sure it's probably a grasshopper. And we have our marijuana, most of which came up. But a few of these cups, one has white sage that didn't come up, my cucamelons didn't come up, and 2 or 3 of my marijuana plants. We've got that moon and star watermelon, Kajari melon. And here I direct sowed squash along this first trellis. Just one of these didn't come up. I did plant 4. Oops. They keep getting dirty when I water them, but they do okay. Soon they'll be big enough to not have to fight the splashback. Our little teepee keeps falling down. We gotta find a better permanent place for that. I love this side. These guys are doing great. Planted 4 here also. A laughing Buddha. This little rock fascinates me. These are all the rocks we got up at our first place we stayed. Up near Glacier Lodge. Our arugula is going to seed. As you can see, these are the seed pods right here. And that's where, once it dries, here's a bigger one. The seeds will come out of that. And we can save these seeds. This was kind of the more traditional arugula. And this smaller arugula actually has somehow survived bolting. And then we have some spinach that's going to seed that I'm going to save seeds from. And I didn't realize how crazy spinach flowers are. Look at the little, they're just these little floofy, spindly things. And those should be going to seed pretty soon. Cutest little thing in the garden right now is this little artichoke. Our one little surviving artichoke made an artichoke. Something lured its way into there. Can you see that? Oh my God, jerk. I need to get down there and try and see if it's gonna cause permanent damage. Along here, I just planted long beans. So those should be coming up anytime soon. Gotta get rid of this big weed. Those are the stinky ones, so I always hate to pull them because then you smell. In our waffle beds, we planted corn in a circle. And then we're gonna, once it gets about knee high, we're gonna put beans in, and then probably before then we're gonna add melons and pumpkins as ground cover. So those will be in the corners and grow out into the walkway. This one here is going to have cucumbers and melons. Then I'll probably be planting those out soon. I noticed that we ended up having to dig. That first one's kind of perfect. This one ended up with these huge rocks in it. So my son ended up digging really deep and wider than he wanted to. And I'm noticing that the ground there at the bottom is pretty clay. And I'd never really given it a sand or clay designation before. All along this line here, we planted okra. Hi. Those are mating bugs that just came right up to my camera. Okay. We planted giant sunflowers, okra, and red amaranth so that we could get some natural shade for the rest of the garden. It's a lot of the harshest afternoon sun comes this direction. And I have a lot of volunteer red amaranth. I don't know if you saw some by the artichoke, but there's one growing over there that I'm gonna just let go. And there's several. Get off my amaranth, you dick. There is grasshoppers eating my beans, but here's some amaranth in here. There's a big one. There's these little tree of heaven seedlings all over the place. These beans probably are gonna get pulled and I'm gonna put squash there. The beans just do not do well at these temperatures. And we're only actually in the 80s right now, but so there's just some regular, I think those rattlesnake pole beans primarily. But I tried to plant them early to give them a good start, but they're already struggling. We still have a couple onions in the ground that haven't bolted yet. Well, I don't think they'll bulb anymore, but we'll probably just use them kind of as green onions. Cameron planted, oh, our first bean is up. Cameron planted bush beans here. We have a volunteer potato and another little one right there. And then a carrot from last year right there. This is our other waffle area that Cameron dug out. And this is to conserve water, so all the rainwater and water we water will sit in the ground. It won't get as much wind. We have pretty high winds here, and that dries out things. So I did plant some. This is just going to be summer squash. I did plant these 6, I believe. Only 2 came up, so I'll just replant the other ones. I don't know what variety that is. There's another little red amaranth. I'm probably just going to let them grow wherever they are, honestly. Over here we have volunteer sunflowers, and I just sowed a whole bunch of non-volunteer sunflowers. So this should be coming up anytime soon. I meant to move these 5 or 6 away from each other when they were smaller, but I didn't get it done, and now it's too late, so I'll just let them grow. Let's see. Still quite a few weeds. Gotta get Cam out to do some. I planted a moringa in here. I have not tried moringa leaf, but it's supposed to be a really perfect nutrient. So good to have and wants to grow kind of anywhere. Our plum tree that had blooms on it and had green a little bit and now is just looking pretty dead, and I'm a little nervous that we've ruined it somehow, but we'll see. Flowers are still kind of hanging on. Got a little bit of calendula blooming and about to bloom. The alyssum's just barely hanging on. These hollyhocks look great though. This big tall guy. I don't know what color it's gonna be yet, but I'm excited to find out. Definitely taller than me, which I love anything that'll give us a little shade. Some more hollyhocks, some more calendula. These flax in the morning have a bunch of new blooms every day. They're really pretty. That is an aster right there. And then a potato that I have no idea how it could have gotten there. This is a little native plant that it's got a beautiful flower from what it's really soft. Hopefully we can keep that alive to see the flower. A little bit more calendula and a dying bachelor button. I started all those flowers in trays so that we wouldn't... Oh, there's that butterfly. Hi, swallowtail. I love when the critters come and say hi for my videos. It makes me feel like a Disney princess. But last time we just scattered seeds in here and just kind of watered and hoped things would come up. So it was only kind of a few of the strongest of the strong. We had a lot of zinnias, some gomphrena, and now we have these hydrangeas are really, and the calendula are kind of the main. But I'm thinking it'll be nicer to put a little plant where you can put some compost in the hole with it and some nutrients, and we'll know exactly where to water because there'll be a plant there. I'm gonna go in the gate here. This is the bed where we're going to put our marijuana. We're going to see if we can fit about 10 in this. We'll see how it goes. We're going to put T-posts in each corner, and then I got some netting with some big wide squares that it's just going to grow up through it to give it support. We'll plant some white sage and some marijuana plants here. These are sweet peas that were really hanging on and making a couple pretty blooms, but the heat is just already taking them out. We sowed some asparagus in here, and I think I'm going to sow some peanuts and long beans and different things just to kind of see what we can get to go. Oh, these locusts already are covered in aphids and black fly or whatever. Ew. I don't know if it's good because they'll attract them and keep them off my plants, or if they're attracting them so they can get my plants. Last year we didn't struggle with aphids too much, especially at this time of year, so I'm guessing it's mostly taking the heat. These are where we're going to put our tomatoes, just like we did last year. Next year we'll probably definitely want to try and move them, and we'll Florida weave them. Pardon the weeds and the mess. We're almost there. Walk back out of here. So that's the early garden. Put some more tomatoes here. We're gonna put our peppers and some more beans, carrots, and things just we'll make little rows all along here. But this Three Sisters is gonna be our main big project this year, and this is gonna be flint corn. It's gonna be glass gem, Seneca red stalker, and painted mountain corn, and then different varieties of beans, and different varieties of squash, pumpkins, and melons to ramble along the ground. And we'll probably even bring it a little further out to where the weeds are, up until where the wood's at, and just plant all through there. So Cameron kind of made the beds to go along with the trellises, which was kind of a good idea. Yeah, and it sucks that we're coming up on all this rockiness, but gives us lots of rocks to line our beds with on the bright side. So yeah, that's the spring garden. Very initial early tour. Hopefully be getting some actual produce sooner than later. I know it seems like it's a long way off, but usually time flies when you're having too much work to possibly do. The garden's looking a little rough for the wear. My health's been pretty bad and Cam's been pretty busy, but over the summer he works a few less hours, and I'm getting a little bit better since being sick with COVID just before Christmas. We've just been continually sick since then and struggling with my lupus and health issues, so it's really good to get outside. It's really helping with my mental health and my physical health, and I just push in little spurts. And if you have any limitations on your gardening, that's one thing I could definitely recommend, is to just like do what you can. Don't push too hard that you're gonna not make it out again, but push yourself in little spurts, that whatever you can manage, and just reward yourself for the little victories. It's really overwhelming and it feels really bad when there's stuff you want to do and can't do. And I've been really struggling with that. So much I want to get done, and I would love this garden to look perfect right now, but it's not going to, and it's gonna look not perfect later either, but it's gonna probably produce a lot of vegetables and give me a lot of joy and entertainment and beauty, and so it's worth it. Throw some seeds in the ground. I know it can be expensive and it can be overwhelming, but really there's ways to make it manageable, and it just is so beneficial. It's going to be such a good thing to know for the future, good thing to teach your kids, and fun way to have a good community of really cool like-minded people around. So one of my best friends started gardening recently. I'm super proud of her. Her garden looks better than mine. She had a little earlier last frost date, so she has a little head start and she got some good plant starts, but I'm super proud of her. She's like done all this problem solving. It's been really fun to answer all her questions. I forgot how complex some of this can seem in the beginning, and just like there's so many questions about so many different things, and there's conflicting information all over, and I just want to make it simple for you guys, help you get just started and get it started in a way that works with your budget and works with your limitations physically and time wise. So we'll keep working on different ways that your garden can work for you, and you can make it as happy a place as possible. And one thing is just like, let go of major expectations. Things are gonna die, things are gonna look cruddy occasionally, you're gonna have weeds, critters are gonna come, like all those things happen. They can't be prevented, but what you can do is enjoy your garden, do the best you can, find good methods to healthy plants, keep them fertilized, and they'll be resistant to the bad bugs and the sunshine and the stuff that wants to get them. So you just learn so much. It's so enriching all along the way. So she's definitely not stunning as of yet, but that's the garden as of now. It's gonna take off really quickly, and it seems forever away, but it's really just right around the corner. So hang out with me, watch this little beautiful garden explode like it did last year. Can't believe I'm in my second season of gardening. I can't wait to get a hoop house and take you guys along for a fall season with a hoop house, but I don't think I'm gonna try fall gardening until we get one. And it's too difficult around here, too cold, too windy, too crazy. Anyway, it's great hanging out with you. I'm super excited to get started back in this season, and I'm definitely rambling at this point. I need to just find a way to shut up. And now I really want to go inside, but I'm gonna stay out here in water because I know I'm not gonna want to get up and come back in the heat later. Okay, now I have to water. I'm too hot. I had fun walking you guys around. I don't want to do extra.
Like and subscribe.